We got all of that done in absolutely record time, and the results speak for themselves. Looking at this Jeep, it looks so good now, but I know that the door jambs are really dirty. I get asked so much, Adam, do I really need to spend a whole weekend to ceramic coat my car? Simple answer, no. Are you happy with the overall condition of your paint? If you're happy with it, there's only two things that you need to do to prep a car for a ceramic coating. One, make sure that when you rub and touch the car after it's clean, is it bumpy? Yes, you're gonna clay it. Number two, if you look at your black plastic and the rubber on the car, is it looking rich and black and like new? No? Then clean it with a tire and rubber cleaner and a towel first, and then you're gonna ceramic coat all the paint, all the plastic. You're gonna go ahead and ceramic coat just about every square inch of the car. And how long is it gonna take you to ceramic coat a whole car this size, a Jeep Grand Cherokee? It should take you well under an hour to do the whole thing soup to nuts. So one of the two things we're gonna do to this Jeep Grand Cherokee before we ceramic coat it, one, we're gonna clay it. Now since this is already dry, we're gonna go ahead and use our Visco clay bar, peel off the plastic, okay? I love using the Geo tool with this, by the way. Pull it around the bar. Okay, then shoot a little detail spray and go at it. Now, if you haven't washed your car yet and you want to go ahead and do this even faster, check out the link to the clay mitt right here. Using a clay mitt while the car is being washed or after you've washed it and before you've dried it is a way to save tons of time, okay? That's a really effective way to get all of the little bumps off your finish. Now when you're claying your car, whatever made your paint bumpy, oh gosh, the same thing happened to your glass. So when you're claying the paint, clay the glass, whatever oversprayed on your finish, oversprayed on your glass, okay? So make sure you just clay the whole thing. And do you need to spend lots of time? No, okay? Here's the contamination that we just pulled off of one half the hood in the windshield, okay? So something was painted a little bit red and some black. You can see that there's just a couple colors. Overspray is such a very common thing, okay? Your next door neighbors or your next door neighbors painted their lawn furniture yellow, suddenly you're claying your blue car and there's yellow on your clay bar. It's such a normal thing. One of the reasons that claying is an essential part of prepping your car for ceramic is that you don't really want to seal in all of the little things that are sitting on the top of your clear coat, all the bonded contaminants, little tiny bits of tree sap, outlines of minerals from water spots when the sprinklers hit it, things like that. You want to remove that stuff. Plus, claying also makes the water behavior change. It makes the finish so slick that once your ceramic coated car is being rinsed off, you will notice that the water just goes away immediately. Remember to always hit the glass. You want to make sure and hit anything, any surface that stuff has fallen out of trees or been oversprayed. Everywhere on the car it will exist. So, and then you can see that I've got a lot of contamination on this little sucker. Make sure you frequently take the clay bar, stretch it, fold it, and all of that contamination goes deeper inside the bar, off the finish. And what that does is gives you a fresh piece of clay that absorbs all that crud off of your vehicle finish. So it makes it nice and easy. So now I've got a nice fresh piece of light gray on the Visco clay. People ask a lot, how do I know when my clay is dead? How do I know when it's no longer usable? When the clay bar starts to come off in your fingers, you can see it start to disintegrate while you're using it. At that point, it's time to toss that clay in the garbage. Now, how often is that gonna be? You're gonna get at least 10 and sometimes as many as 15 cars out of a clay bar before it's rendered useless. So you will get a lot of miles out of your clay bar. Again, do you see how fast I'm doing this? You don't need to spend hours and hours claying your car. Now this is fast, You know what's really fast? Using that clay mitt, even faster. All right, so the top surfaces are typically the worst, right? You're gonna spend a little bit more time claying the surfaces that are facing the sun. Those are always gonna have more contamination than the sides and other parts. So make sure you give that just a little bit extra elbow grease as you do the roof and the hood and, you know, on a normal car, the trunk, right? So you're gonna see that I'm gonna pull up a lot more crud from the roof. You can see there that we've got ourselves a nice bit of crud. And again, what is it? Somebody was spraying something back in the black in the garage, and of course it oversprayed the car. So now I'm gonna I've already stretched and folded the bar. Now I'm just gonna flip it over and go to the other side, and I'll keep going. So anyway, you clay the vehicle. You can go ahead and once you're done knocking the whole thing out, you just take a polishing towel, give it a quick wipe, and then you have yourself an extremely smooth finish. Now listen to that. Before, after. Okay? Now it's nice and smooth. You don't want the water to hang up on the contamination that was there before. Same thing went on the glass. And then the next thing, before we ceramic coat, on this Jeep Grand Cherokee, which is a daily driver, which lives outside a whole lot, you can tell that the rubber and the plastic has begun to oxidize. You can see that it's turning gray. So before we ceramic coat this vehicle, I want to go ahead and address that. And that's a really easy thing to do. I like to use a microfiber utility towel and our tire and rubber cleaner. This combination is such an easy process. So all of the black, all of the rubber, all the plastic, you take a little bit of the tire and rubber cleaner. I'm gonna spray directly into the towel, and then I'm gonna use the towel as the brush, okay? So removing the oxidation from the plastic and the rubber takes, I don't know, I might spend 15 minutes on the entire vehicle getting it all off. Now, you're gonna see the oxidation come up on the towel. If you're pulling up lots, constantly change the towel so that you have a fresh part of the towel so that you don't have lots and lots of oxidation trying to go into the same location on the towel. It will slowly pick up less and less and less. Now, as I'm removing the oxidation from the plastic, you're gonna notice that the towel is gonna be picking up a lot of it, okay? You're gonna see it. Now, the plastic will turn the towel a little bit darker, possibly brown. When you're doing rubber, like let's say the rubber seals up along the windshield, you're gonna see way more black come out when you're doing rubber, okay? Black is gonna be the oxidation off of the rubber. Gray or brown is more likely gonna be the oxidation off of the plastic. When it looks all consistent, like this looks now perfect, it looks factory new. Doesn't look shiny, but it looks factory consistent. Once you've got it factory consistent, you're done. Go on to the next part of the plastic. There were two critical things that we wanted to do to this Jeep before we ceramic coated. One was going to be to clay the whole finish, making it smooth as you can possibly imagine. So it's all smooth. That took us 11 minutes. Then we went around and we addressed all the plastic, all of the oxidized rubber and plastic around the whole Jeep. That took us a little under 20 minutes. So all in, we were under 30 minutes doing all of the prep required to do a ceramic coating. So now, before I start, I want to just set the record so clear on how quick this goes, how easy this is. This is no smoke and mirrors. So I'm going to go ahead and start a timer on my phone right here. And I'm going to see how long it takes to do, which is usually the largest panel of a vehicle, which is the hood, okay? And start. So here we go. I'm using our Graphene Advanced Ceramic Spray Coating and my favorite, the large microfiber applicator pad. I'm gonna go ahead and spray 1, 2, 3 sprays into the applicator. Then I'm gonna go ahead and do this area one giant swipe at a time. And look at me, I'm getting it all over that little windshield wiper squirter. I'm getting it all over the black plastic here on the cold air inlet. Then I just keep going, because if I tried that with wax, can you imagine having to dig all the carnauba out of the little tiny holes of the windshield wiper squirters? What a hassle that would be. Okay, so I'm doing that. This whole panel, I've got half of the panel completely done. You can see it starting to rainbow. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do 1, 2, 3 more sprays. And then I'm gonna do the other side. And look at this, I'm going all into this, all of the badging. The Jeep, I just went crazy thick because I'm gonna make sure that it's all the way protected around each letter. Can you imagine doing that with wax? Again, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the plastic down here all the way around these cold air inlets. I'm gonna really get it well around the windshield wiper squirter. And I'm just gonna make sure that I'm very even. You notice I'm not pushing super hard. So how ceramic coating is different than wax is that, one, it's basically adding a micro layer of clear coat that's made out of liquefied glass to your finish. This is making another layer of protection against elements. This is making another layer of protection against friction. When you're washing your car and drying, you're actually on top of the ceramic, the glass coat, then more so than you are the actual clear coat, okay? Now, I went ahead and got all this done, and you'll see as I am watching it sort of starting to set up or starting to cure, you'll start to see the rainbow start to fade away. Now, the rainbow is really strong initially. There is a little bit of a penalty to metallic white cars, silver cars, cars where you can't see it super easily. They'll be like, my car's not rainbowing at all. Well, it's not really your car. It's the reflection on a light colored finish that's harder to see than it is on a dark color finish. So as I'm applying this, I just want to put a little bit here on the glass. The reason I want to put some of the ceramic coating on the glass is to show you something. I want to show you that if you're having difficulty either with the lighting in your garage, or let's say you have a light colored car and you can't see the rainbow effect happening as the ceramic coating begins to cure, on your glass, chances are you'll really be able to see it well. And the more tinted section of glass is going to be better. So down here along the very bottom of the glass, where it's black, you know, it's on the back side of the dashboard. If you put some ceramic coating on that, the chances are good that you'll be able to see that. So I'm putting that down there just so we don't miss anything, okay? All right, at this point, we really have this is almost all faded away, which is perfect. So now I'm gonna go ahead and grab a brand new borderless gray towel. I only remove ceramic coatings with brand new towels. Why? If I was to cause damage to the finish by having a towel that had some wood shavings or some crud in it and I started scratching while I'm trying to get my car close to perfect, that would be a bummer. So I like to use brand new towels. They really pull it up nicer. I use the towel like this. I grip it like this. Okay, the towel is folded into quarters. I grip it like this, and then I'm gonna do a very light swipe across the whole panel. Okay, very light swipe. And then I flip the towel over and I give it horsepower. Then I go ahead and give it a nice thorough wipe. Oh, that looks so nice. And then that gives me a finish that I'm extremely proud of. I love this finish. And it makes it bulletproof. And it makes it so that when you're washing your car, the water comes flying off. When you're drying your car, the water goes flying off. Making sure I get around all these little sections there. Looking at this, it looks absolutely fantastic, and realize we did not polish, compound, or do any paint correction to this vehicle. Okay, we're just We just hit it with a clay bar to get all the contaminants off, and then we went ahead and ceramic coated it. So, you know, again, I had to wait because it took a few seconds for it to dry, but now if I go ahead and just take a peek at my timer to see how we did, I can give you some ideas of how long it'll take you to do your whole car. So, all right, boom, stop. 6 minutes, 31 seconds, and that was because I had to wait about 2 minutes for it to set up, for it to cure. However, here's some good news. The good news is I have a few spots of ceramic that actually dried on the car that didn't wipe right off, okay? So what does that mean? Oh no, now what? I can see a few streaks right here in the middle that when I waited to wipe it off, I got this side all off completely, but right here towards in the middle, I can see a few long streaks, high spots. I can see some high spots where it didn't come all the way off. Now what? What do I do? Well, it's kind of hard to do, but let me get my applicator that I just used. Take my spray, one spray, not three. And these are up and down, up and down, up and down. Watch this. I'm gonna go the opposite direction across those high spots. Let's see if I got any other high spots. Maybe. And by the way, the chances that you're gonna get a high spot are very high. And guess what? Removing those high spots is so stinking easy. So don't stress it at all. Your first time that you ceramic coat, the whole car might be one entire high spot. And what do? Put it on, because now I've already got cured ceramic on there. Then you just come back over it real lightly with a towel. I don't need to worry about the light wipe and the heavy wipe, but check out, you will see how perfect that comes up. It comes up super easy. And again, you're gonna figure out on the first panel you do how long it takes for it to set up. Every single day that you do a ceramic coating is gonna be slightly different weather-wise. Ceramics respond to humidity and temperature a lot. So I just figured out that this was able to be wiped off a little sooner. In other words, I wouldn't have had to let the rainbow fade all the way away, okay? Because it was actually curing, only the rainbow didn't disappear fast enough. So now I know, after doing the hood, which by the way, is now flawless, that I can go after a little bit quicker with the borderless gray. I talked about how it took 6 minutes to do the hood, but the fact was it probably would have been 4 minutes because I actually didn't need to wait for that 2 minutes because it actually was curing a little bit faster. So when you stand back and look at your car after you do one panel, you're gonna be pumped. You're gonna be psyched. You're gonna love the fact that it's looking so great. When you're really gonna appreciate it is the next time you go to wash it or dry it. Boom, that makes it so much easier. Pressure washer, boom, 85, 90, 95% of the dirt goes away with a pressure washer. You go to dry it, boom, you're using a blower. You're getting 70, 80, 90% of the water off without even touching the car. So the ceramic coating reduces the amount of friction that it takes to wash and dry. That makes the scratches, boom, go way down. And look at the gloss you get. It's pretty awesome. One of the most frequent questions we get about ceramic coatings, especially people that are new, is how do I know when to remove the ceramic coating, when to wipe it off? If you want to learn on a really small section, here's a quick pro tip. Couple of sprays of ceramic spray coating into your large applicator. Do an area of about 2 foot by 2 foot, and then you're gonna see how long it takes for it to rainbow up, and rainbowing is kind of another word for looking like, kind of like an oil slick on the water, but you'll see it, it'll look like a rainbow, it'll look more and more like an oil slick, like a two-stroke boat motor, what puts in the lake. And when you go ahead and remove it, you're gonna see, oh my gosh, I left a whole bunch of high spots, or boy, that was easy, I left nothing. If it was easy, you left nothing, you might have removed it too quickly. If you let it go too long and then you remove it, you might have some high spots which you have to come over and hit with the applicator again. Now here, we're in Arizona right now, super dry in the desert. it's actually setting up and curing quite quickly. So I'm gonna do a light wipe, flip the towel, and finish it off. And that is really nice. So what I realize here in today's specific environment, with today's temperature, today's humidity level, what we have is about 30 seconds to a minute of cure time before you can start removing it. In the wintertime, in a cold climate, things are totally different. You might do a whole hood, not seeing any change, not seeing any rainbow. You don't see that effect for minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So realize you can go ahead and ceramic coat almost the entire car before you start wiping it off. You'll recognize it for sure, but you just do one area. That's your pro tip. Get it figured out in a 2 foot by 2 foot section. It'll be a breeze doing the rest of the car. The Jeep has been ceramic coated. It took us under a half an hour and it looks amazing. However, I didn't do the wheels. Now the wheels, the best possible way to do the wheels is for sure to remove the wheels and clean them very thoroughly and then ceramic coat them and put them back on. At the same time you do your brake calipers, especially if you have high performance powder coated or painted brake calipers. Now, however, some ceramic coating is way better than no ceramic coating. So watch this. This is the easiest way to ceramic coat your wheels. I'm gonna use the Graphene Ceramic Spray Coating Advanced Formula. I'm gonna actually spray it straight into the lugs. I'm gonna spray calipers, spray the face, and then I'm gonna spray the backs of the wheels too. And I'm gonna try to get it as much as I can now with the applicator to level it out. But I'm probably not gonna get it all perfect. But guess what? I'm not worried about it. You know what I wanna do? I wanna keep these wheels easy to clean through the winter until the time that I swap out my winter tires and wheels, or until the time that I get new tires. I just bring some cleaning supplies over to my favorite tire shop and then just clean them up then. But you don't need to be so crazy about trying to make your wheels flawless. Not when they're about to go through a whole bunch more damage and salt, magnesium chloride, all the nastiness of the winter. I just want them to be coated so that I can get the brake dust off quicker, the magnesium chloride off quicker, the salt, all that stuff to come off quicker. So, all right, now while I'm down here, I'm gonna go ahead and take the ceramic spray coating and I'm gonna spray it into the plastic sections of the wheel wells. Now, why do I do that? I wanna do that because that makes, one, the snow not stick to the inside of the wheel wells, and two, makes it nice and dark and rich looking. It makes it beautiful. It doesn't do a ton to the fabric or the carpeted wheel wells, but it doesn't hurt a thing, that's for sure. So now I'm letting this cure, and while I'm letting it cure, I'm gonna go ahead and knock out the tire. My favorite product for sure for tires, I love the graphene tire dressing. The graphene tire dressing, what I like to do, I like to spray it into the tread block, never into the sidewall, into the tread block, over the top of the tread, and then level it with a sponge. You'll see I'm coming at it, not the side, but actually at the top in the sharp corner of the tire. Then a couple of sprays directly into the Pro Tire Sponge. I like the product to go into the tread block so that I don't see light gray into each one of these. I like to see it nice and rich and dark all the way. Same thing goes with the tire bead. See with the tire, the actual bead of the tire where it touches the rim, I go all the way. I want to make sure and get the tire dressing all the way to that part of the wheel so that it's all the way looking nice and rich and black and even. And one of the greatest things about this product, it's not too shiny. I'm gonna get all these little ridges and look how nice that looks. I love it, I love it. Oh yes, that looks so nice. And you'll notice the graphene tire dressing, as it starts to dry, it gets more and more matte. It finishes matte. So now I'm ready to remove the ceramic coating from the wheels. So when you have a wheel like this that's silver, you don't really see anything turning colors. You don't see rainbowing, nothing like that. So I just feel it, and when it feels a slight bit tacky, like this absolutely feels a slight bit tacky, it's ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove it now and not delay. I use the ceramic coating on the paint. We used it on the plastic. I even use it on the wheels in the wheel wells. However, there's a very specific product that I like to use on the glass. Something that seeps into the pores of the glass so that it doesn't get wiped off too easily by the wipers. The friction of the wipers can remove the standard ceramic coating real easily. So the graphene glass coating, click the link right here and you can go through a step-by-step process of using the graphene glass coating. You know, if therapy is what you're up to this weekend and you want to do a full-on detail and you want to get out the machine polisher and you want to polish and compound and go crazy in your car, by all means, don't let me steal your thunder. However, if you want to make your daily driver look really, really good, as this Jeep does now, in very little time, consider the process that we just used as a way to get excellence quickly. This thing's gonna wash easier, it's gonna dry easier, and it's gonna look better than 99.9% of every car on the road.